Good morning, it's Wednesday the 7th of June. This is the Phoenix Blue Update brought to you this morning by Tom Colley. Very quiet day yesterday as we anticipated, not a lot of news out there, not a lot of anything really to move the markets. We're clearly waiting for the biggest day of the week, which is tomorrow, Thursday, when we have the ECB rate statement. And obviously we also have the UK election adding to that. Former FBI head Comey's testimony in the US. We can expect some action tomorrow. Today, however, potentially quite quiet again. News from yesterday that we saw something strange going on yesterday with Forex Factory, the dairy price index for the kiwi, showing only as an orange impact rather than the red that we normally expect. However, we got another decent figure out of that price index, and we are seeing quite a bullish New Zealand dollar full stop, which that is only adding to the momentum of. Overnight, we had some good numbers out for the quarter-on-quarter gross domestic product for Australia. Again, that gave the Aussie a rally overnight. We'll have a look at that chart shortly. The only other thing we've got to watch out for today are the crude oil inventories at 3:30 this afternoon. Crude is very untidy at the moment. Difficult to define a direction. You may remember I had a plan last week based on the level of the of price prior to the original OPEC agreement 6 months or more ago. That level was $48. That's been broken now. But we haven't had a clear break to the downside. My picture was bearish below 48 and bullish above, but we haven't yet had the price action to support that. Overnight tonight, we also have further news for the Aussie, which is a trade balance. We also have tentatively the trade balance for China. That usually comes in overnight, but without a specific time. And then we have the UK parliamentary elections all day tomorrow. There are obviously other news events. Those two will happen before the next update tomorrow morning. And obviously you need to be well aware of that and the other items we've mentioned for Thursday. So a very quick look at the charts. We had a big sell-off in the yen or the US dollar yen chart yesterday. You'll see I've got a couple of what are intraday orders. Really, these are the extremes of movement that I could potentially see to the day and specific levels. In terms of actual trades for that, if price was to pull back up and retest that trend line, which looks unlikely now, we will, there is that intraday trade in there on the retest of that trend line there. Overnight, we've clearly had a quiet Asian session. We do appear to be retesting this resistance level at 109.60 and potential for the downside to this previous low here about 108.50, 108.15. Again, I say I've only got an intraday order there, just looking for a reaction based on the news tomorrow. Okay, over on the euro, well, very tightly ranging between these two thin lines here. Nothing really to say yesterday. We simply just continued within that range. I'm sure that will potentially continue until we get the ECB press conference on rate statement tomorrow. We don't expect a change of rate. The rate statement will be the critical factor. Again, the entries that I've got on here are just intraday entries at potential extreme movement if we do see some movement today, but they are extremely cautious orders, as you can see, for intraday orders. But with what the market's doing and what we've got to come later in the week, I am just playing the markets extremely cautiously. The other market that I mentioned briefly there, we have had a rally overnight on the Aussie. We've rallied into this key resistance level at 75.40. The question now is, are we going to see a pullback before we see a further move to the long side on that? All the data coming out of the Aussie has been strong in the last week, 10 days. Although the RBA statement was relatively cautious and suggested that they still thought that the value of the Aussie was too high, but they were being unable to reduce rates because of a booming housing market. I still see potential to the long side preferred on this, so we'll be looking for a break above that key level, a retest, and a trade up to this level here, where again I've just got an intraday order looking for a reaction back to the short side there. Another market of interest we've seen rally is gold. It rallied strongly again yesterday, as did, we've already seen the yen did the same. We're obviously seeing a more interest in the safe havens. We've seen yesterday, we also saw a sell-off in most of the stock markets. So we have a risk-off scenario. However, it's so far somewhat unproven. There is a level through here at 1280, which would be a retest of this trend line, which I took a really good look at. However, I've decided that I'm going to wait for a break of this 1295 level if we get further long side on gold and a continued run to those safe havens. The reason that, although 1280 is a very good level, I remember back when we were looking at this level previously, I was watching 280 there previously, and we did have that breakthrough, so I'm being cautious through there. If we get that break above there, I think that will be on the back of something significant and give us significant potential for upside on gold, and a further move towards safe havens on the back of uncertainty. Okay guys, that's it for today. Just a reminder, next free trading event Wednesday 4th of June. Either email us or go to the website. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you again in the morning. Take care, goodbye.